have with us Ms. Kausar Saeed, a highly skilled and accomplished educator with over 12 years of experience in early childhood education, National Core Committee of ECA, and founder of Learn to Lead. Her enthusiasm to bring together the best pedagogies to give the right learning experiences to children has inspired her to contribute to ECE as course designing team for University of Hyderabad and Osmania University for their recently launched courses for bachelor's and master's in ECE. She is also resource person for APHRD Institute, which is established to be developed as a state-of-the-art training complex to meet the training and capacity building requirements of staff of government departments, undertakings, and other public functionaries. Her unique journey has given her many awards from organizations like the UNICEF, the Times of India, and the Early Childhood Association. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Priya, for that wonderful introduction. And I'm so glad that it was all about early childhood education. So, good afternoon, everyone. I know it's a post-lunch session, and when Aishwarya was making you do the yoga with the relaxation of closing your eyes, I was scared that many of you may sleep. But thankfully, it was not that. So, very good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. So today we are here to talk about a good pedagogical approach, which is STEAM. So all of us have heard and read about STEM, right? So I'm directly going to this approach because I know that since morning you all have been going through sessions, so I don't need to set the tone. So I will directly make you get into understanding what it means by STEAM and why STEAM is important. So you all must have read about STEM, right? You all must have read extensively about STEM, but this is something little different from STEM, and this is called STEAM. Now, why did we actually need to put this pedagogy in place for the first? That is because we all have been aware that in our school and in our colleges, somewhere science and math have been the core subjects, and they have not, if the way it was taught was as a subject, it was a science class or a math class. Do you all agree with me on that?
Yes, ma'am.
How many of you like science? Just raise your hands. That is virtually. How many of you like math? So many of us have been taught science and math as a core academic subjects, where we used to have one class for that. And it used to be more towards explaining the concepts than we getting hands-on learning on that. So that is why this was important for us, that this new approach was important, where science and math was taught in a way that it becomes useful to us. Many of the concepts which were taught in science, like solution, how do we make a solution, or fertilizer, and many of the concepts in math, percentage, interest are the ones that we use in real life. But when we were taught that in the classroom, it was restricted only to the numbers and answers that we gave in the examination. Somewhere that lack of connect between the understanding of the subject and the usability of the subject in real life was missing. And that is why this approach was important. What is STEM? Educational approach. STEM is an educational approach where we use technology, engineering, art, math, and science as the points for guiding the inquiry, dialogue, critical thinking in children. So we have to understand that STEM is the name given to an educational model that focuses on science, technology, engineering, the arts, and the mathematics. The STEAM was originally developed by George Yackman. and it emerged from the previously STEM model. So STEAM has emerged from STEM, which covers the same topic, excluding the arts from its definition. So arts is something that we have added to STEAM, and why we have added that is something that you will understand as we go through the session. So Yakman and others have argued that STEAM allows the traditional subjects contained with its acronym to be structured in such a way that a great amount of integration between them is possible. As STEAM education states, the concept centers the idea that science and technology are interpreted through engineering and the social, language, physical, musical, and fine arts, all based in the element of math. Ultimately, this framework allows for an academic curriculum design in such a way that it will equip learners with rounded skills out into the world after their time at school is over. Isn't that very important? How many engineers we have seen and how many doctors we have seen, or how many people from other science fields and math fields that we have seen have not done it too well in the same in their same fields. Why? Because there was somewhere lack of arts integration into that subject, which did not add that pinch of salt into their personality, which was necessary for them to prove their mettle when they came into the real world. And this STEAM also allows teachers to design their lessons in such a way that students develop these skills collectively through integrated lessons rather than individually through the specific subject alone. So we will not be like, a math teacher or a science teacher, but you will be a STEAM teacher. And how will you become a STEAM teacher is something that we will understand as we go through the session. So one thing you all have very clearly understood, that STEAM is about science, technology, engineering, and math. So what we do in STEAM is we take the learning outcomes of science, we take the learning outcomes of maths, and we use technology and engineering with the overarching arts into the entire course design or a lesson design. So it is not that we will be teaching the math concept independently from a science concept. We may integrate it together, and we will engineer the lesson plan in a way that the learning becomes hands-on by using the tools of technology and arts. So just imagine vaguely now, if I give you a science topic, if a digestive system is a science topic, if I was taught the digestive system by actually, if I like art, I like painting, so I paint it on a canvas. I paint the digestive system on a canvas, or I role model the digestive system, as in I just show them everything. So this kind of learning is very different from actually reading it from a book and recollecting it to write in the exam papers that we have. And that is why STEAM is important. Why is STEAM important? Because it teaches children about connections between the subject. Till now, we have been seeing that, this is being taught as independent subject, right? As I was telling you before, science and math are being taught as independent subjects. And we never thought of integration. How we are going to integrate, we will see it through the sessions. And it focuses on the core of who a child is. Many a times, we all have been dealing with children, haven't we? So what are the important things that children do? In a classroom, when you introduce a topic to the child, what do? If I just give you a picture and you were a child, what would you do? You can write in the comment box or unmute and say, observe the image. Yes, observe the image and then do what? If I just give you an image, I don't speak anything about it, then as a child, you will first observe the image. Will you give an opinion? Yes, children are very confident, they'll give an opinion. And will they not start asking you questions? So STEAM allows children the ability to ask these questions and seek their own answers. And STEAM celebrates experimentation, interactive and hands-on classes. Now, how is it important for a child? As human beings, we all have evolved from being an early man to the civilized, to being the civilized human that we are today. So how have we evolved? We have evolved through discovery. We have evolved through curiosity. We have evolved through questions that we have been asking. So that is actually the science of being human. And when we as humans tend to think, tend to seek answers, and we like to learn through experimentation. And once we learn through experimentation and the learning is hands-on, we do not forget that. We don't forget that. See, just imagine, technology was all there, Zoom was all there all these years. But once we got into this scenario where we had to use Zoom all by ourselves, aren't we pro in using it now? There were so many things, even I didn't know about it about 2 years back, but I know about it now. So when we go hands-on with things, you get mastery over those subjects. So when you create a STEAM lesson plan, when you create a STEAM lesson and give that learning experience to a child, the math and the science concept that they're learning will be hands-on in nature, and that concept will stay with them for life. You do not need to think of the assessment or a good understanding of that subject. So don't you think this kind of learning is very important for the way the world is evolving? There's so many things which are unknown to all of us. We don't know the world tomorrow. So it is totally unknown to all of us. So when we are teaching children some important concepts, if they learn this way, isn't it very important that they can think out of the box, use that knowledge as their power instead of being binded to that knowledge and being restricted. So if I knew, if I was taught percentages and interest by giving me banking examples or by taking me to a bank, wasn't it very different from the way we were taught to actually solve it on a paper? So that's the experience that a hands-on learning brings to a classroom. With teaching, when you are a teacher, there is a very minute difference being an entertainer and an engager. In teaching, you have to not just be entertaining children. Laughing, singing, dancing is good. But after a time, when you're watching a movie, which kind of a movie would you prefer? If you're reading a novel or if you're watching a serial, which kind of a serial or a series would you like to watch? Something which is very, very entertaining or something which is also engaging? It's something which will make you think. For all obvious reasons, we like a balance of entertainment and engagement. And a STEAM lesson will bring engagement in your classrooms, will bring engagement as a core of how the teaching learning experience will happen. So here we will not have issues about classroom management, because when the child himself is involved, when all of you are into the classroom doing something where you have a role to play, where will you have time to just, switch yourself off the classroom, right? So do you agree on importance of engagement in a classroom? Do you agree? Do you agree on importance of engagement in a classroom?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And how
Yes, ma'am.
this fact and realize that I am not being engaging now, because all that I've been doing till now is giving you knowledge about STEAM. But let's get engaging now. Okay, so let's now you know what is STEAM. You know that STEAM is about science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. You know why STEAM is important, who got STEAM. Now you know all these facts. Now, how do we bring it into the classrooms? Let's get into that. So let's do a STEAM challenge. When we make STEAM in a classroom experience, what we do is we give a challenge to a child, and they have to find a solution. In the process of finding the solution, they learn. So in STEAM, the process is important, not the end product. Okay. So if I'm teaching you percentage, so the process, in the process where I take you to a bank or I give you a solution that this is where I am stuck and I need to find my interest, which comes after 2 years. So I'm giving you a problem and then I'm asking you to find the solution. So you find the solution for me. So the process is important and not the end product in STEAM. And in the process, the child will learn. The minute they come to the solution, the learning ends there. You get that? So in STEAM, it's not the end product that you want, but it is the process. So let's do a STEAM challenge now. Are we ready? Let's think STEAM. If you want to be a STEAM teacher, then you need to think like a STEAM teacher. So let's do that. All of you have papers with you. Can we allow them to switch on their cameras? Is that allowed? Priya, can we allow them? Okay, do you all have papers?
Ma'am, they already have. Request all the
They have a
participants to
choice.
please turn your cameras.
So they have a choice.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's get to this now. I'm giving you a challenge. Are you ready for the challenge? Do you all have papers, any kind of a paper with you? Can you show me the paper? Do you have papers with you? Can you show me a paper? Do you have papers? Yeah. Just take. Now, my challenge is I want that paper to fly in the air, go as high as possible. And I don't know what to do. Can you all do it for me? Just make that paper fly in air as high as possible.
Ma'am, we need to turn it into a rocket.
So do it.
Oh,
You should. That's your solution. So many of you are making a rocket. See, everybody can have their own solution. You can also have children who would just throw the paper in the air and say it's flying. There can be some children who will go onto the top and throw it down and say it's flying down, right? And then some of you can be very smart and then make a jet plane or the paper planes that you're making. Yeah, you can just make a ball out of it and throw it in the air. It's flying. So when you make, now I gave you a problem. The problem was I'm giving you a paper and I've asked you to make it fly. Now you came out with your, now I will ask you to reflect on your solutions. What did you do? Why did you do that? And and then how far did your paper go? If you have to make it go higher, then what will you do? If you have to make it go farther, then what are you going to do? So is it not science involved? Don't you have aerodynamics in that? A very big concept in science. Distance is there. You know, how to measure the distance can be given. Now, is it not math there where you're teaching them the formula of distance, the weight of the paper? Now, if I want to add arts, I can ask you to decorate or, to make your papers colorful. So you have arts there. And technology. Technology is how you have converted a paper into something which can fly. That's technology. You have engineered the paper. So that's STEAM. That's the STEAM. You give a problem, you give the resources and ask the child to solve. And they come with their own solutions. So how did you get to your solution? By thinking STEAM. And that's what I call STEAM. So just a simple paper, I told you, you need to make it fly in the air and you had your own concepts or your own understanding of it and you did it, right? That's what I call STEAM. And that's what is called STEAM. Now, how to bring STEAM into the classrooms? How do we bring STEAM into the classrooms? Can you think now? Are you into the STEAM mode now? So why do we need this STEAM into the classrooms? Let me tell you something about it. The chosen subjects for both STEM and STEAM were emphasized because of their perceived importance for global workforce, along with a more generalized desire to increase the level of student engagement. Over the years, we have seen that science and math have become very boring for children, the way it was taught in the classrooms. But at the same time, they were very important for them to learn them to be able to navigate in the world around. So that is why this new concept of STEAM was important. And this was a concept where we could see that many hobbies and interests were all grounded in the same 5 concepts, as opposed to seeing STEAM field only as an academic topic. And STEAM initiatives are intended to prepare students for future work roles and enable them to develop the creativity, innovation, leadership, and critical thinking. Problem solving skill, a very important skill that will serve well in the future. Now, just recently, we all have gone through the pandemic, haven't we? And what were we all doing? Solving the problems. All of us, for this time, were on the same level, right? And each one was trying to solve the problems. Now, over 2 years, haven't we evolved in the way we are dealing with the pandemic? Haven't we evolved ourselves? How did we evolve? By thinking, the thinking skill of problem solving. We started solving our own problems. Are we still so worried as we were 2 years back? We have solutions now on our desk, right? So, STEAM here becomes very important because it stresses the fact that all these subjects are integrated within many real world settings, aren't they? Is science and math independent of how we need it in the real world setting? They aren't. Now, I give you a very simple example. Okay. Now, when we have the virtual reality or augmented reality dressing rooms, which allow people to try clothes on a digital environment, while the virtual and augmented reality dressing room itself will need to use relevant technology and it will have to be programmed, that is engineered. But creative people will need to require to design those clothes themselves. So isn't that STEAM? Isn't that STEAM that has come there? To fully understand STEAM, if you want to take each one of those, what is science actually? Is science all about the concepts, the theories that we used to teach, or is it beyond that? So let's understand each of those subjects to understand the STEAM and its importance as full. Science in the subject contained within its umbrella term, such as chemistry, physics, and biology, are extremely important for educational development because we are surrounded with scientific concepts every day. While scientific evidence is used to make many important decisions in a huge range of fields, that is why it is crucial for students to learn the scientific method because it teaches them to solve problems and make decisions on evidence and logically through a pattern. And this is very important because all children are logical learners. Nowadays, many a times we see that the minute we give any child any concept, they still go and try to verify it on Google. Don't they do that? They verify the informations on Google. Or if they don't know, they go and verify it on the Google also, or find it on the Google. Why do they do that? Because children are logical learners. They have a question and they need an answer. And that is the science. That is the scientific temperament. When you have a problem and you're looking at, you're doing a research to find solution. So science is not just a concept that we teach in our textbooks, but it is also a mindset. Now, why technology? Now, very recently, we all have understood that with technology has become increasingly demanding for us to even survive in the world of tomorrow, isn't it? Without technology, what would have we done? That is why it is very important for us to bring technology into the classroom so that our children get used to using it. There was a difference till yesterday. There is a thin line when we are using technology. We use technology, or are we getting used by technology? Now, what we do as adults are we use technology. Now, wherever we were challenged, we were not able to meet our students, we were not able to meet our friends, we were not able to meet our colleagues. What did we do? We used technology to meet them, right? But we see that hours and hours children spend on games and video games, and which kind of deteriorates or has an ill effect on their health. So what are they doing? They are getting used by technology, right? So when we integrate technology into the teaching learning process of the classroom, we will teach our children how to use technology, and they become more engaging. The process becomes more engaging. So don't you think we are going to solve a lot of their problems when we teach them how to use technology? Instead of playing a game, if they are able to create a game which they all play together, then think of the impact that you bring for the child. Think of the impact for a second. Instead of playing the game for hours, if the child is able to create the game, and how will he be able to do that? Obviously with the technology. That is why in STEAM, after science, the scientific mindset, we also needed to integrate technology. Now, after technology came the engineering. Engineering is broadly classified and it's described as the application of the scientific principles in order to create objects, machines, structures, products, and more. It is commonly divided into field of civil engineering, which is about buildings and bridges and infrastructure, electrical engineering, which is about electronic devices, circuits, mechanical engineering, which is about robotics, vehicles, engines, chemical engineering, which is about manufacturing chemicals, oil refineries, and aerospace engineering, and also the software engineering, which is come now. So engineering is about applying the science to create a product which makes our life easier, or machines which makes our life easier. So this is actually engineering. And then the art. The art is an extremely broad field that art is all not about colors here. It's not about art and craft only, but art is also about language arts, the way you talk with different tones, or you sing, or physical art, or all these things. The way if you can enact something out, that's art. Liberal art. So art is a huge space to be explored, which can be integrated into the classrooms. And why art? Because art helps you express. So when a child is given an opportunity to express what they have learned through arts, then the entire purpose of assessment is completed. You do not need to go into the process of assessment there. Why? Because you have allowed the child to express their learning through arts, and in whichever art form that they want. It can be theater, it can be dance, it can be singing, it can be the colors that they create. It can be any kind form of art that they can use to express their learning. So this deep it goes when you talk about STEM, and the last is math. Math, in many ways, it binds the other elements together. After all, mathematics is needed to solve problems in fields like science, technology, and engineering. And of course, numeracy is an essential life skill. So that is why STEAM is very, very important. And the integration of all these subjects together can be a whole learning experience in its own terms. So you have a STEM chapter, which you conduct one day, or if you have STEM being conducted one day, then will not have to reach out to different classes separately. It will be a whole different learning experience in its own. So STEM is taught as a project method. It's a project that we design, and we will continue the project for about 2 to 3 days to complete it. Now, how to use STEM in your classrooms? So when you have to bring STEM into your classrooms, you have to first write the learning outcome. You all know what is a learning outcome, right? You know what is a learning outcome? So you write your learning outcome, a science or a math learning outcome. Then what you do, you put the resources together in the form of technology and art, and then the process, which is engineering and art. So let's do some STEM challenges to understand. So I'm giving you a challenge. Can you see this slide?
Yes, you can see.
Yes, you can, right? So in this slide, what can you see? You make a RAM. So we give them a problem. As I told you before, in STEM, you give them a problem, and then they have to solve the problem. So we give them a problem. We are asking them to make a RAM, which can, on which a toy car can go for about 50 centimeters. Now you give them material. You give material to your children and just allow them to think. Allow them to think what they are going to do. So some of them are going to bring cardboard papers and they will put the RAM. Some of them will try to put the blocks together and they will try to create a RAM. So they will try different materials. They will test, and then they will come back and tell you, okay, this works. Can you see it in the pictures? Yes. Now, similarly, I can give you another challenge. So we have to create these kind of STEAM challenges for children. The second challenge that I can give you is I give you some straws. You know which are plastic straws, right? And I tell you to make a tower out of it. And the tallest tower, let me see who makes the tallest tower. So this is how it will be. So they will try to make a base. They'll try to put the straws and they make a tower out of it. So these are the STEAM challenges. Now, how do we inculcate learning into it? If you go back and see this, so while the child is making a RAM, they are learning a math concept of distance, speed, distance. Are they not learning that? Now art, they can color those bridges or ramps according to their understanding or their likability. Then engineering, have they not engineered the idea to use the technology to make a ramp? Now let's understand this by watching this.
This lesson will touch on many concepts. Is a mast that hangs from the
So
end
this
of a
is a
string
very,
and
very,
swings back and forth.
important.
This lesson will touch on many concepts such as
This is a very, very important and a very difficult concept of math that she's teaching, and it is called a pendulum. You know what is a pendulum, right? When you're hanging something with the string, you use a pendulum. That's a very complicated physics concept. And look at the way how she is teaching it simply because it is STEAM now. It's through a STEAM project how she's teaching.
is a mast that hangs from the end of a string and swings back and forth. This lesson will touch on many concepts such as simple pendulums, spherical pendulums, Newton's first law of motion, inertia, gravity, and spiral patterns. To build a pendulum, first you will need a place to hang it, such as from the bottom of a table.
So do you all know this very important concepts, Newton's law of action and reaction, inertia? So these are not very simple concepts. Do you agree with me on this?
Yes, ma'am.
These are not very simple concepts. Now you see the way she's teaching it only because it's a STEAM challenge. So what she's doing is she's going to give this material to children and they are going to create this.
Or in this case, a pole held up by 2 stools. Next, secure a string from your chosen place and attach a metal washer. The washer will add weight to our pendulum and make an easy place to attach a cup of paint. Before proceeding, you will need waxed paper cups, paint mixed with equal parts water, 1 sharpened pencil, a large paper clip, and your paper. First, Bend your paperclip into a W shape and slip it onto the washer. Use a pencil to poke a hole in the bottom of your cup and one on each side of the top to attach it like a bucket to the washer. The combined weight of the washer, paperclip, paint, and cup will make up the mass of our pendulum. Some pendulums only move back and forth, like the ones on grandfather clocks. Ours can move in a circle, creating a spiral pattern. This kind of pendulum is called a spherical pendulum. Arrange paper under the cup. In one hand, take a hold of the cup and place a finger over the bottom to prevent leaking. Pour a small amount of your mixed paint or ink into the pendulum's cup. Lift the pendulum and swing away. Once the pendulum has been lifted and released, gravity pulls the pendulum back down while inertia keeps it moving back and forth. Inertia is the property of an object to stay moving unless it is stopped by an outside force like gravity. The pattern made by the pendulum is showing how gravity reduces the inertia as the cup slows down and eventually stops. Now, you not only have a beautiful evidence of Newton's first law of motion, but a great piece of art that can stand on its own or be worked into, such as an underwater scene or geometric art.
So can you see that? Wasn't it beautiful? Look at the artwork that children could create by creating a pendulum in which they have put different colors. Now, when children are able to create this kind of art material with a science concept, a physics concept, which was very boring, I should tell you, when I was studying it, by putting the color in just a pendulum cup. And imagine the satisfaction they will get when they make this kind of art material. So this is the way STEAM is taught. There was a concept, there was the technology where the instruments that were used, you engineered the ideas to create an art product. And this is what children are supposed to do all by themselves. So when they are doing it, with this, you can tone down the material which is being used. You can start using the material which is available to you, which is easily available around you. To be honest, what has she used? A paper cup, some color, and then the paper cup was hanging from the top. So you can hang it according to what is available around you. You can just, hold the pendulum also in your hand and ask the children to work in teams to do that. And especially in these times where we are conducting this kind of virtual classes, these kind of engagement programs even make it more relevant for teachers and more interesting to conduct. If I was doing that, if I was really conducting this session with some kind of a material which I would have been allowed, I would have asked you to do it right here. And imagine the patterns and the art material that all of us would have been able to create because of this kind of a learning experience. So this is STEAM. This is STEAM that we are talking about. Now let's see one more. So are you able to understand what is STEAM now? So if you see this, what do you understand here? Can you see this picture? What do you understand from this? What's on that cardboard?
If you're having
a butterfly.
It's a butterfly. So the first step can be, we can ask children to make a butterfly and we paste it on we'll ask them to paste it on a cardboard. So it's engaging, they're involved. Then after that, what are we doing?
Static energy is being used to make the butterfly fly.
Electrostatic energy is being used. So this problem is that we are making a butterfly and how do it fly? So they may be exploring different ways and then you teach them with that, you take a balloon and blow it and then rub it in your hair, on your clothes and take it close to the butterfly and your butterfly will start flying. So can you imagine this learning that you're giving to your children? Now you can add some concepts where you can actually make them cut the butterfly wings as shapes. So you can give them different shapes, right? or you can ask them to pick up only the red balloons. So you can actually pick up colors. So you can integrate all kind of learning to create a learning experience, which they go back home with, they start doing this everywhere now. They will start going and telling their parents. So learning is not stopping in the classroom, but you are equipping them with the knowledge so that the learning is continuous. You get that? So, I'm going to look forward to see all of you using these in your classes now. So can you see this? It's a simple paper plate. And on the paper plate, what have we made the children do? It's a life cycle of butterfly. So normally what would we do? We'll create a PowerPoint presentation if it's a virtual class, or if it's a real class, we'll show them on the chart.
Life cycle of butterfly.
Ask them to, we will tell them from the egg, it becomes a caterpillar and this and then the butterfly. But now what we are trying to do, we are making them make a paper plate with the 4 stages of the life cycle of a butterfly. So they will cut the leaf, they will put the cocoons or the eggs on that, and then they make the caterpillar. So when they're making the caterpillar and when they're making the butterfly and the eggs, think of the level of understanding of the concept that they are going to develop. Do you agree that the level of understanding of the concept will become better because we have used art here? And here the tools that we are using. So this kind of is basically a project method. So you have to think and integrate all parts of it. And that is why I told you that when we are creating a STEAM plan, the first thing what you will do is you will write your learning outcome. So now any of you give me a learning outcome. Any learning outcome of math or science, anybody can just unmute themselves. Now we will make a STEAM challenge. Together we will make. Give me a learning outcome of math or science, something that you want to teach. It can be easy, simple, anything.
Ma'am, understands the various stages of life cycle of butterfly.
Yeah, that is something that I've already taken. Now you give me something that you want to teach tomorrow in your class. Any math or science.
Irreversible and reversible change.
We can
Okay,
say
one
solar
of you.
system. Ma'am, solar system. I'm
Solar
Shaheen.
system. So Shaheen, you're giving me a topic, solar system. So you be with me, you keep yourself muted. So the learning outcome here is that you want to teach children the names of the planets,
Right.
size of different planets,
Right.
placement of different planets from the sun, right?
Yes. Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
now you will engineer the plan. So what do you need? What are the technological things that you will need? Your technology is not just the digital one. Your technology is the material you need. So what will you gather? What will you give your children?
Actually, I have done this last year when the pandemic started. So I was teaching grade 2, their EVS subject.
So you share what is the material that you gave them.
I told them that first we have a make sun. So I told them, so take the broomsticks or your toothpicks or something sticks like and make a sun. So they made a sun on a paper with their pencil and colors, and after that they pasted those we can say sticks on it, broomsticks. And also about the planets, they said that let we make a somebody took this an oval shaped egg. So they will say that let me make it, let me paste it on something and I'll make a this one of the planet. So I told them that now it is not possible that you are staying at home. So it is not possible that we will assemble all the material and we will assemble it. We will do one thing, we'll act on it. So every child acted on it at their own places. And then we assembled all those acts in a single video. And then we presented it.
So I get that. You said that you've made each child one planet and you have assembled it together to show them the solar system. But
right.
Make each child make their own solar system. So we can just tell them that we can just give them the terms, and what they can do, they can use the clay modeling and they can make the planets of different colors and different sizes. And they can take, I remember one teacher did this. So they have taken a cardboard, and on the cardboard, she has actually put the pipes, transparent pipes on that. And inside that, there was a sun in between. And inside that, just like the way you have a puzzle, on that she's put the planets. And when they moved the board, they were able to move all the planets around the sun. So they are making something. They're making the solar system model all by themselves, and they are able to move those balls, which are the planets around the sun. So they're engineering, and they were able to now say the solar system very nicely. So what you is kind of an art where they role play. So this is the way the teaching can happen. Now, do you think the solar system was taught this
Sorry,
way?
Sujana, can you please mute yourself? And Sudharani too. Thank you.
If we teach solar system this way, do you think we will need to reinforce that learning? When the child makes his own Mars and the child makes his own Earth, and when the child places them at different places on the solar system, do you think you will have to reinforce that learning again?
No. This is
No.
really
With
good.
them for life.
Yeah, much
Yes,
easier
for
when, yeah.
whole life, yes.
Exactly. And that's why STEAM has become very important, because some of the very, very important life skills can also be taught. Some important relevant information that is there in science and math need to be taken this way, so that the learning becomes hands-on. Now let's see some more challenges.
Ma'am, can I share one, ma'am?
Yes, you can.
Ma'am, this is Bindu, yeah. We had done a acid-based test, ma'am, using indicators at home, turmeric and hibiscus flower and beetroot juice. So all the children was ready with the whatever acids and bases they had at home,
Controlled
like the
movements,
soap solution,
controlled movements,
vinegar,
and
and all this.
influencing factors
they,
such as having a level surface. To make our drawing robot,
Sorry. You
controlled
can go ahead.
movements, controlled
Yeah.
movements,
And they made
influencing
this
factors such as
indicators and
having a level
did the
surface.
activity when the class was going on, ma'am.
Right. That's
And they could observe
activity.
the
You can also help them extract, you can also help them extract the colors from fruits and vegetables.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
mix those colors to make it primary, secondary.
Colors, yes, ma'am.
A beautiful activity that we can do. And
Yes,
it's not necessary that you finish a STEM challenge in one day. You can
Yeah.
start, then it continues, and then it continues. So I'll show you one more video, which is a very, very simple STEM activity.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Please share what you want to say.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we have introduced how does a seed grow for this kindergarten children.
Yes.
Yes.
This is something that many of us give in STEM, that seed growing. But what did you teach there? Tell me, how did you teach?
Yes, we taught like we asked them to take some fenugreek seeds. You just take some small pot and just sprinkle the water on first day. Observe all days. How does a seed grow? There's a live experience for them, and they have given a nice feedback, ma'am.
Okay, now this is very important that she has mentioned this experiment. I was waiting for one of you to mention this experiment, because all of us conduct this.
Yeah.
How to make this steam. Now let's understand that. What they have done, they've taken the seeds and grown a plant out of it and made children observe it, right? So what is that is a science concept. Now, how to bring technology, now, how to make it math, how to make it arts. Now let's understand the problem. I will give children, I will give them the seeds, I will ask them to grow the plant. And the problem I will give them is, I will say that I do not have resources to water the plant. How do I make the water reach the plant? From this source. This is the source. This is the plant in the pot. Now the water has to reach from there to here. Now that is the problem I'm going to give. That is the challenge I'm going to give it to child. Now what are they going to do? They're going to think. So they will make a ramp, and then I'll give them material to do that. So they will make ramps and tubes, and they will take care water reaches the plant. Okay. So they are thinking how the water should reach the plant. Now you will also get an opportunity to tell them, if they don't get water, they will also observe. If they don't get water, can the plant grow?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. We have just introduced like that.
So they need the plant. They need the water.
They
So
need
they have to
sun.
create a ramp and they have to make the plant get the water. Now, if you want to add art to this, now what can you do? You can actually ask the children to draw the entire process with from how they have become from a seed to the plant. What all did they do, and how they are going to? What is their plan? How are they going to make sure keep the water reaches the plant? So they have to draw the, draw the tube, draw the process that the plant is going to get the water like this. So when they are drawing all those figures, you have integrated arts. So the growing the plant from a seed is science. Then how did you make it become technology, math, engineering, and arts? Then it becomes a STEAM project. Did you get that?
Yes, mom. Thank
You
you.
made a science experiment into a STEAM project. And then then you make them observe, then you make them write the notes, and then present their experiment also. That, my plant was going through this problem. I've solved the problem like this, and this is the end product that I've received. So are you now understanding how to make a STEAM challenge? Are you able to think STEAM?
Yes, mom.
Yes, ma'am.
Now
Yes, ma'am.
let's see one more interesting video on this.
Yes.
Are you able to see the video?
Yes, ma'am.
So can you see, there is a robot that we are going to make. Now a robo for a child is a big thing, right? And we are also going to integrate arts into it. Now there are some things that they have used in this video, which we may not get it in India, but we can replace them with something more effective. So we are going to use the motor and force and uncontrolled movement. These are the concepts that we are going to teach, and they are going to make a robot here in this video.
Controlled movements, and influencing factors such as having a level surface. To make our drawing robot, we will need a cup, a rubber band, removable tape, a few fresh markers, and a small motorized object. We are using a toothbrush from the dollar store. Next, take the rubber band and put it around the cup. Pick 3 markers to act as legs to hold the cup up, and slip them under the rubber band so that the caps point down. Straighten them so that they are at even rest
So
object,
they've made the
and
feet
tape
of
it
the
across
robo
the
as a
top of your
pen.
cup so that your bot won't fall over. Later, you can have students make adjustments to see what happens.
And on the top, she has put the brush so that it vibrates. So we can use anything else which vibrates.
Differently if things are off. Asserts on the brush that it is. This energy is the force that moves our robot. It's time to see what your drawbot can do. Using a grouping of colors on your ArtBot, you can create an interesting background for silhouettes and other art projects. Here we go.
Can you see that beautiful artwork that was being easy to be created? Now the same thing you can do with cars. What you can do is you can use the remote cars, and on a paper you can allow that car to go on to the color and come back. So that is another way of integrating and creating STEAM this thing. Now very quickly, I think I am running short of time. So very quickly, I will show you a quick lesson plan of STEAM, which is very necessary for you to create STEAM plans tomorrow. Okay, so I will just show you one lesson plan, how to write a lesson plan. So when you're writing a lesson plan, you have to first write the objective, and then you have to write the standards, that is the learning outcomes. Okay, so objective is why you are conducting this activity, and then you write the learning standard, that science or math standard, and then you list down the material, and then you create a plan, engagement plan. By engagement plan, you get them into a conversation to bring them onto the same page. Like, you tell them that if you want to get fruits from the plant, from where do you get fruits? From the plant. So if you want to get a plant, from where will you get? From the seed. You create an engagement and then you conduct the activity and then the assessment. Now, we will see how we are doing this activity of inquisitive insects. I'm going to share this PowerPoint presentation with you and this activity with Teacher Thought team, and they will email to all of you if it's possible. So you can see the objective is written here, that the insect, the shape of different parts, the color of the different, how many legs the insect has. This is what is the teaching that is going to happen. Now, what are the standards? They have mentioned the standards in detail. Now, what are we going to do? List the material. After listing the material, we will create an engagement. We will show them an insect and we will talk about the insect. After talking about the insect, these are the steps that we will follow. We will ask them to draw different parts of the insect by looking at that. They may draw it at their own understanding of it. And then we make them color it. And then we ask them to use different material to make its legs, and then the wings, and then the antennas. So they have made an insect. So they have understood the different parts of a body of an insect through.
Ma'am, excuse me. Ma'am, we are running really short of time.
Yeah, it's done. It's I'm towards the end. So this is how a STEAM plan is created. Okay. If you see that slide, you have to write the objective. You have to write the learning outcomes. You have to list down the material. And then you have to create an engagement, then the activity. And then you have to end it with the assessment. How will the assessment happen? When you see the end product. So with this, I come to the end of this session of this STEAM. STEAM is a very, very beautiful concept. And it is at least one concept you should take as STEAM every week for your children. Keep their curiosity alive for learning. With this, I end the session and let's STEAM into our classrooms. All the best, everyone. And thank you so much for this opportunity to share this knowledge about STEAM and how to bring STEAM into the classrooms. If you have any questions, I can take it later. I think this session will be relayed on the Facebook page of IIEM. So you can go back onto that page and leave your comments there and tag me. I will try to come back and answer because we are running short of time. I think I always feel that time is the most precious thing anybody can give anybody else. You have all given me 1 hour of your time and I hope I did justice to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.